Go ahead, man. It's go first, man.
Whoa, yo, what's good, man? MBS Central,
Unbelievable.
MBS Uncensored. I'm your boy Keo. I got my guy with me right now, True X the Sports Junkie. What's up, man? How you feeling on this
I
Saturday?
just want to say shout out to La Tech, man. My daughter actually committed there. We went on a visit yesterday. Shout out to her, man. But what are we doing, man? What are we doing? That's always why we didn't go live yesterday for the NFL draft. I had to go to Ruston, Louisiana, but today I'm back, man, and I'm shocked. This is the biggest day three in the history of NFL drafts. I watch all of them. I write down the names typically, and this one I think everybody's still tuned in because of the nonsense that's going on in the NFL. What are we doing, Keo?
So what X is talking about um so as we all know, the NFL draft is this, it started on Thursday. We're at the final day now, day 3. Oh, wait a minute, I've just found out something. Shador Sanders is a Cleveland Brown now, man.
About time.
Well, that's that's what the story that's what the story was about,
About
man.
time,
Shador Sanders have not been drafted yet, and it just happened right about time while we're actually live. This is actually dope, though. Well, as soon as we
Hey,
do the show, he gets drafted.
no, I gotta watch a little bit of this, but I'm still tuned in. I actually was writing down, Keo, my winners and losers on my paper. Look, literally, just writing them down. And I said, had the Browns taken, look, I have it right here. Right here, if you can see it. Can you see it, Keo?
Yeah.
I had Browns. You're a winner for sure if you take Shadeur over Dylan Gabriel. Now, lo and behold, they take Shadeur. The Browns are having a really good draft. They move back. They get Mason Graham. Now you get Shadeur Sanders. You got Dylan Gabriel, but they should have drafted Shadeur a lot earlier. They got Quinshawn Junkins. They got Dylan Sampson. I like what the Browns are doing. Thank you. This kid, look, I wasn't the biggest Shador guy. Keo wasn't either. But to say he's in the fifth round, that was ridiculous. I thought he should have went first round. I don't know what the NFL was trying to
Eh,
prove.
yeah, man. That was crazy though, because the first thing that we were gonna talk about was why Shador has not been drafted yet, and lo and behold, as soon as we do the show, Shador Sanders gets drafted, man. So, I'm glad he gets drafted, and now it's over now, man. So the questions about him, when will he be get drafted, it's finally done. I had a feeling it was going to be the Browns, Raiders, or one of those teams to draft him, and he's there, man.
Yeah, that's ridiculous though, man. But the Browns are really killing it. They had drafted Harold Fannin Jr., who I thought was one of the best five tight ends. Quinshawn Junkins, Dylan Sampson. A lot of people thought they were top five running backs. Mason Graham, arguably the best defensive player in the draft. Um, Carson Swaysinger from UCLA, a linebacker, good linebacker. And now you get Shador Sanders in the fifth round, which is a bargain. I'm gonna say it right now. See, shout out to you, my man. I know you love Dylan Gabriel. Shador Sanders is better than Dylan Gabriel. He'll beat out him. I don't know what they were thinking in the third round, taking Dylan Gabriel over Shador Sanders. But But obviously, a message was trying to be sent. I just hope Shador can keep his head on a swivel. Know that, just because you was drafted in the fifth round doesn't mean that you can't go out and be legendary, like he likes to say. What's crazy is before the draft, maybe like 2 months ago, a lot of people thought it would be Cam Ward to Tennessee, Shador to Cleveland. Lo and behold, he still goes to Cleveland just in the fifth round. Man, that's crazy. I want to know though, bro. Do you think he'll be the day one starter?
No, I don't. I don't think he's going to be the day one starter because Shador Sanders went through all of this right now, not getting drafted until what the fifth round, and is he what type? Is he going to get a fair share of a fair opportunity now? That's the question though. Is he going to get a fair opportunity now that he's with the Cleveland Browns?
So you think it's gonna be
So you still got Deshaun Watson.
Kenny Pickett?
You still got Deshaun. Yeah.
Deshaun's not gonna play this year. So Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Dylan Gabriel, and Shador Sanders. Somebody's not making this roster. So
I won't be surprised. I won't be surprised if they cut Shador Sanders, man. That'd be crazy
wow.
though if they did.
Yeah, you can't cut Shador with Joe Flacco in your roster, my brother. No disrespect to Joe Flacco, Super
Hey,
Bowl winning
man.
quarterback, but come on, man. Joe
But
Flacco,
that,
come.
but like I said, what type of opportunity is he gonna get though? Is he? Yeah, it's fine that he finally gets drafted. Congratulations to that. But what kind of opportunity Shador's gonna get now? Because
Yeah,
we
man.
don't know. So we're gonna have to see.
I said it from day one. I think the biggest reason Shador dropped is due to the fact that he's only been coached by Dion. And teams are scared of that. They're scared that Dion will sit there and say, that's not it. You know, we need to do this. Or he'll tell, it's not my son's fault, it's the coaching's fault. And the coach may be fired behind Shador Sanders. But if you're a head coach in the NFL, that shouldn't be your concern. Your concern is to get the best players in that building, coach them up, do your job, and make it happen. I just think that a lot of people were scared off because of Deion Sanders. Deion Sanders has, talked about possibly coming to the NFL, possibly not coming to the NFL. And I just think that teams are worried that maybe Dion one day may make that jump. And wherever his son's at, it'll be on the team where his son's at. So that might have been something that was scary for some head coaches. I just feel like that's something that you shouldn't worry about. If you think Shadeur Sanders is a starting quarterback or capable of being a starting quarterback, a star in this league, you draft him, you coach him up, and you live with the results. But fifth round is crazy. Fifth round is crazy.
I don't think it's definitely not his talent because every mock draft person that the experts, including all of us, had Shador at least in the top five. No matter how I felt about the guy, I had him in my top five. I'll be honest with you. I've been critical with Shador the last couple seasons from the beginning of the season.
Right.
And people went to the point where they said I was hating on him. They saying, I'm trying to bring down another black athlete, certain things like that. But I just felt like there were some things in this game where I felt like there was flaws and weaknesses, but at the end of the day, I felt like he was good enough to be a top fit pick. More importantly, a first round pick. Definitely not no fifth round pick. I didn't even imagine that. Um, I don't think what happened here was a race thing. Um, I don't think I don't think it was a race thing at all because you look at, the last two first overall draft picks in the NFL has been black athletes, Caleb Williams and Cam Ward. Um, 80% of the athletes that get drafted in the draft are black athletes. So I don't think it's a race thing. I think it's more of um a character issue with Shador Sanders and Dion being his dad. Obviously, I think that's what it is. Um, I think I maybe both of them deserves the blame for that. I honestly do feel that, but I just feel like he doesn't deserve to be penalized to all the way to a fifth round draft pick. Though I just don't think it's fair to him. Though.
Yeah, he lost money tonight. I mean, obviously, it doesn't matter. I mean, he comes from a great situation, but it's just the arrogance. I don't understand why people are mad about that. Athletes are typically confident in their abilities. Maybe you feel like he's being cocky, arrogant, but athletes are typically very confident in their abilities. Dion is a prime example of being very confident in his abilities. People had the same concerns about Johnny Manziel, but he didn't drop to third, fifth round, whatever. Johnny Manziel's a late pick. Baker Mayfield, super confident guy, was the number one pick in the draft. So
But I think
we
with
can go
those
down the
guys,
line. Josh Rosen, very
I
confident guy.
I think those guys, when people mention about Manziel and Baker Mayfield and how cocky they were, I don't. I think those guys were, to me, they were more proven quarterbacks, especially playing in a conference like the SEC in the Big 12, just the competition he went up against, and nobody really questioned their cockiness or their confident, their trash talking, and all those type of things. That I think that's one of the reasons why also with Shador and Colorado, they never really played against anybody, man. The way depleted the Big 12 is, and everybody left. I'm not sure who they really played against. Where it's like, yo, man, they played some tough competition. But his play speaks for itself, though. So I can't excuse that. So
Well, here's my thing. I'll give you another guy then. Josh Rosen, super confident guy coming out of UCLA. Super confident guy. Some people thought he was borderline arrogant. Some people feel that way about Aaron Rodgers, who dropped in the draft, but not to the fifth round, Kill. Josh Rose, I think it was the seventh pick overall. I think somewhere around there. Aaron Rodgers was in the 20s. Like, come on, man. To
so
drop to
does this
the
still
fifth round is
so
insane.
this still look bad for the NFL?
Yes. Yes. It just does, bro. It's like
So
how
you're
let me think of an analogy real quick. It's like I gotta think of one that would even make sense. Let me think about it for a few minutes and I'll let you know. But
so you're
I
telling
just
so
go
people who are
ahead.
saying it's collusion, they's telling me that the NFL owners got together and they said, "Hey, let's not draft this guy."
And bro, it feels that way though. Let me tell you, you and I, we love sports. We watch college football. College football is my favorite sport of all sports. When the season ended, me, you, C, and Yvonne did a show. Who are the top five quarterbacks in that's going to the draft? At that time, Shador and Cam Ward were being talked about as far as 1 and 2. Who should go number one overall? The season was over. Season was over. Nobody was playing no more. That season was over. And me and you had Cam Ward. C and Yvonne had Shador Sanders, the number one quarterback in the draft. Dude, Shador gets drafted in the fifth round. That's like he went from being maybe possibly the number one overall pick. The party's about you. You're the guy. You're the number one guy. And instead of being invited on in, he was saying, "Nah, you gotta go to the back of the line, my brother. Back of the line, back of the line. You're not welcome into this party.
Do you think any of this is his fault though? Based off of the interviews that he's done, not showing up the pro
Of
day.
course, you can rub people the wrong way, but at the end of the day, this is my thing. Can people rub me the wrong way? Absolutely. We've had guys, girls come a part of the MBS brand that have rubbed me the wrong way, and I might be like, this ain't the best fit for us. But in the same token, we give them opportunity because at the end of the day, business is business. If somebody's good at their job, right? They're good at their job. They can bring value to what we have at the MBS brand. I'm gonna entertain it because it's about business. It's not nothing personal. Me and you may not be the best friends off camera, but if you bring value to our brand and we can both benefit from it, why are we not mutually, maybe going down that road? Unless it's something crazy. You're very confident, Keo, in your artwork. We have
Yeah.
this guy. You talk spicy when it comes to anybody in their artwork and in your artwork, your graphic design work. You're kind of like Shadeur Sanders in a sense of you're very confident, very arrogant when it comes to your artwork. That MBS Uncensored backdrop right now, Keo created it. If somebody else creates a kill, like, yeah, it's cool, but it ain't better than mine, or he'll just come out and say, or he'll just come out and say that stuff is trash. So what I'm saying to you, you bring value to the MBS brand. Maybe you may rub me the wrong way. I may say against myself, man, this dude must think he's the only graphic designer in the world. We can go find somebody else. But I don't do that because I look at it like at the end of the day, you're supposed to believe in yourself. I have no problem with somebody believing in themselves. I think the issue more so, some people saying it's race, some people saying it's his confidence, his cockiness, his arrogance. I just truly believe it's the Dion factor. Dion said when he first started, how he started coaching was he went to a Pop Warner League. He brought his boys there. He was sitting in the bleach, basically sitting watching the practice, saying how he walked onto the field. It's not something I'm making up. Go on YouTube, look up the video. Dion said I walked onto the field and was like, "Nah, coach, we ain't doing it like that. We're gonna do it like this." And then Dion went back, sat down. Then went back on the field. He said, "Lo and behold, by the end of practice, I was running the entire thing. I knew right then I needed to be coaching." Dion has coached his son his entire life. Just now at the combine, when there were scouts out there saying, do this drill like this, Dion went over to the scout, the boys, and said, don't listen to him. Do it our way. Dion, I think, and I love Dion, one of my favorite athletes of all time. You can ask Keel, top five for me all time, maybe number one. Yet I think Dion played the biggest effect in his son being drafted in the fifth round. That's just the way I see it. I'm
Oh,
not
it's
saying it's
Dion's
fair.
fault.
I feel like it is somewhat.
As far as Shador, I don't know what type of NFL career he's going to have, especially being a fifth round draft pick. I mean, he might be a clipboard quarterback if all I know. And then you dealing with the quarterback room in there also. I don't know, especially the way things panned out right now. I don't know what type of opportunity he's gonna get. He might get sabotaged in Cleveland. They might just draft him to say, okay, we drafted you, so there ain't no damn collusion in the NFL because we already drafted you already. So I don't know what type of opportunity he's gonna get, especially how big that Cleveland quarterback room is right now. He might get cut. So one quarterback got to get cut. You still got Dylan Gabriel in there. You still got Deshaun Watson, Joe Flacco. I don't know what type of opportunity he's gonna
Kenny
get. I
Pickett,
don't know how soon the guy is gonna play. So he's gonna have a tough hill to climb, man. It's gonna be a huge struggle for him, and he's gonna have to work his ass off to get an opportunity, and he only has one opportunity, man. So he's gonna need to take advantage of this because right now They saying that they basically sent that message to him, especially being a fifth round draft pick. So I think he's gonna have it the toughest out of any other quarterback out there right now. But
Okay,
I like Cam
okay,
Ward as the best quarterback and the most successful.
okay. Let me ask you this: day one. Not Broncos. Browns opening day starter is Watson's out for the year, so we know it's not Watson. Who they starting game one?
I
You
say
got
I
Joe
say
Pickett.
Flacco.
I say Flacco's a starter because he already knows that offense. He won a playoff game there. So I think that they're going to roll with him just because he's ahead of them in terms of the playbook and everything for now. I say Shadeur will start after like week 5.
So you think Dylan Gabriel just got drafted before him but won't play before him?
Right.
No, Gabriel's gonna start before him.
Hey,
Make
bro,
no sense. Makes no sense. You draft a quarterback way ahead of Shador, which is a fifth rounder, and then
I do
you,
agree that doesn't make sense.
yeah.
that,
The Lions just got Miles Frazier, the LSU guard.
yep. I don't know. Like, I just feel like they should go Shador out the gate. I'm not saying he was going to happen, but I think Shador should be the day
Of
one
course,
starter
man.
over there.
Of course, you love that underdog story. You're rooting for that right
No,
now, man. I'm
no, my
pretty
thing
sure
is,
everybody is right
all
now.
right, but listen to what I'm saying.
Everybody in the United States right now, especially what happened to us as being a fifth round draft pick, collusion, race, whatever narrative these idiots
Not
want to
me.
use, whatever
I
narratives
wasn't
these
even
idiots out
a
there want to
Shador
use,
guy.
they
My
are
Thomas
rooting for him right
was.
now. I'm hearing people saying I'm rooting for Shador Sanders this NFL season, no matter who drafts his ass.
So I wasn't on here. I wasn't on here when y'all were talking about that. What do y'all think actually happened or why he dropped or whatever? I want to hear y'all's thoughts.
You want me to go? You want to
Uh,
go, Keo? Go ahead.
I think it obviously it doesn't have to do nothing with race because if you look at the two overall draft picks in the NFL has been black quarterbacks, Cam Ward, Caleb Williams. You look at 80% of these players that's been drafted have been black also. I think it has to do more with Dion being his dad. And I think about his process going into the draft. We hear about how he bombed on the interviews, how he's seems uninterested, how he was unprofessional about certain things. I think it has to do with that, and also his dad. I think those two things played a big difference for NFL teams, and I don't think NFL teams didn't want to deal with that baggage dealing with him and with Dion. I don't think that it was worth the headache for them, and that's the reason why.
Yeah. I'm just looking at something real quick, y'all. Hold on. All right. Yeah. All right. So I think it was about his dad. Ultimately, that's what it came down to. Um, I don't know. I know you probably heard the story about how Deion started coaching. Did you hear the story? Why he started coaching football?
No. What I
Okay,
think it
well,
was to help kids out, right?
okay. So he went to Shador and Shiloh, but in the NFL, there's a lot of egos, right? And if Shador doesn't pan out, and Prime says it's not my son, it's the coaching. The coaching is bad. And you're a young coach like a Kellen Moore, who's never been a head coach. The media and the public might say to themselves, Dion's right. It ain't Shador. It's you as a coach. And guess what happens? You get fired. That's why I all along thought Mike Tomlin, Pete Carroll, the Raiders or the Steelers should draft him. They've won without him. You got a guy like Tom Brady with the Raiders organization. Dion can say whatever he wants. You're not going to argue with Tom Brady. You can't argue with Tom Brady when it comes to what we see. So I just think that teams were scared a little bit as far as that's concerned. Coaches especially were like, look, we don't want Dion to ridicule us and then we end up losing our job because Dion says this. And then who's to say Dion doesn't want to coach his son? Because that's the person that's coached Shadeur's entire career since Pop Warner. High school Dion coached. College Dion coached. So all he knows is Shadeur. Shadeur knows is Dion. Now he has to listen to another man. I just think that scared him off a little bit. And of course, the cockiness and arrogance, which I have no issue with because a lot of athletes are believing themselves like that. It ain't like this is a first time thing. Dion was like that. T.O. was like that. I mean, there's a lot of people we can name. Josh Rosen went 7, I believe. He was very cocky. People saying Aaron Rodgers went 20 something, very cocky. Baker Mayfield, Johnny Manziel, people are cocky. They believe in their talent. I have no issue with that. My issue, is, I believe, was Dion.
Interesting.
And I'm not saying it's fair to Shador. I'm not saying it's fair to Shador. I'm saying that's what I believe. That's just what I believe. I could be completely wrong about that, but that's what I believe. Teams like Kellen Moore and them were like the Saints and other young coaches were scared off by that. Dable
But
wasn't. Dable was on the
like
hot seat right now.
but like I said to you earlier, if that's the case, then their asses shouldn't be a head coach in the beginning. If they're scared,
Hey,
you
I
know,
understand what you're saying.
one of your roles and responsibility as a head coach is you controlling everything, taking a stand. You know, you're the guy in charge, not somebody that's not on the team, especially a parent of the athlete. I just think that that those coaches, they should be ashamed of themselves if they're scared of Deion Sanders.
Man, they cut Shador. That would be great, bro. What?
Right. If they cut Shadeur, that would be nuts.
Bro. I I think they should
that,
start
that would
Shador
be
day one.
crazy,
I
bro.
do.
What'd you say?
I would start Shador day one, bro. The Browns not
Of
winning
course
nothing,
you
bro.
would. Of course you
They're
would
not winning
want to
anything. It don't
start
matter if
him.
Joe Flacco's the guy. He's 40
So
years
what's
old.
wrong? So what's wrong starting Dylan Gabriel, a proven quarterback who's been
Bro,
against
Dylan Gabriel
tough
should have got drafted
competition?
before Shador.
Dylan
He shouldn't have
Gabriel, who
got
was
drafted. He
against
should have got drafted.
Dylan Gabriel, who went against tough competition in the SEC and the Big 12. Why not?
Bro, he should
You
have
just
got
like
drafted
that. You
before
just like
Shador.
that underdog story, and you feel bad for
Let me
that
ask you
idiot.
Well,
this. Hold on.
Dylan Gabriel never played in the SEC. When he played for Oklahoma, they were in the Big 12.
Right. I was about to say
But
that.
but that's fine. The Big 10 is just
I
right
mean, Big
there.
Ten. My bad.
It's
Okay,
still right there.
here's my thing. I'm gonna have to pull it up, but I could have sworn you didn't have Dylan Gabriel in your top 5 as quarterbacks coming into the draft.
Yeah, but he was mentioned.
Oh,
He was
don't do
mentioned as a
that. Don't do
sleeper.
that. Hey,
Yeah, it
I'm
was.
just
I had
see
Kyle
one thing about
McCord
me
in there.
is
Dylan.
I don't. Hey, one thing about me is I'm not gonna move the goalposts on this. I'm gonna say I had Shador ranked as the second best quarterback in this draft. I think he should be the day one starter. Dylan Gabriel was not better than Shador.
No, but it doesn't make sense though. If you drafting somebody like
No, the
Dylan Gabriel
Browns
ahead,
drafted, not me. The Browns drafted, not me. I
if
think
that's the case,
Shador's gonna
then
go to
why
camp and
then
outplay him.
what round did Dylan Gabriel get drafted? In the third round, second
Third,
round?
third.
Then you should have just drafted Shador in the third round
I
and drafted
agree.
Dylan Gabriel in the fifth
I
round.
agree.
That
Look,
don't make
I
no
said
sense.
that. My
You're
flip.
going backwards, man.